On this episode of Motorhead Garage, we've got a metal treatment that will shield your engine's moving parts.
You got gravity to deal with.
And we're breaking the laws of physics.
That may sound crazy.
All that and more coming up next.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, folks, Sam and I have done our share of putting headers on engines for a long time, and they're never easy. Today, we made it easy, primarily so you could see what we're doing on here. But a couple little tips for you that I think it'll make your job a lot easier. Right, Sam?
Absolutely. We got this little hot rod motor here with aluminum head sitting on a cradle, so it's real easy to get to. But normally, these are in a hot rod race car, real tight location, which is why we've got the block hugger header. If you're by yourself and you're putting the header, and you got the bolts, and you got the gasket, it's a fumbling thing, you drop stuff. Dave's got a little tip, real easy to make.
Usually they need about 3 or 4 hands to do it. Well, this is my extra set of hands right here. You can buy these, but this is easier and a lot cheaper. Just get you a couple bolts, cut the head off of it, cut little slots in the top so you can take them out. And what I do, here you go, Sam, I put them in like so. You don't have to screw them in very far, just enough to hold it. Take your gasket, put it on there, and you know what that's like, trying to put your gasket on and get it lined up and then put the header on. Well,
this sure beats putting glue on it, too.
It sure does. Now go ahead and line that up, and there you go. Now all you have to do is go ahead and put in your bolts, and then once you get them in, take your studs out, and you're in business. So, but we got some special bolts for that, too.
But the reason we're going to do this is, you all put headers on, you know what they're like. This is a quality header, nice thick flange, nice and flat, the heads are new and flat, and you got a good quality gasket. You put that together, it works fine. Down the road, you find out that you start to get a little exhaust leak, gasket's leaking. If the gasket's good, the head's flat, and the flange is good, the only thing that happened is the bolt's backed out. So what we've got here is these grade 8 bolts, and these are from stage 8 fasteners. We'll put these in, you tighten them down, put the locks on them, and the problem's gone away. And the neat part is that these happen to be 3/8/16 thread, and it's got a 7/16 head, but it also has an Allen socket in it. So you can put an Allen wrench in there and get in tight spots where you can't get a socket to get started. Makes it real easy. And if you have one of those ball driver Allens, you can get at a real angle. So just put your bolts in. When you get enough bolts in, then you can take your studs out. You got a couple in over there?
Yeah, there you go.
No,
what, my stud removing tool?
No, if you couldn't get them out, the slot works good with a screwdriver, but this is a nice header, and they came right out.
All right, I got a couple here started.
So we'll run these in. I got more to do here.
Okay.
We'll run these bolts in, and then we'll show you how it works. And you want to just run them in a little bit at a time and then tighten them up evenly. All right, so once the bolts are tight, you want to keep them from turning. If they don't turn, they're not going to loosen up.
What you do then is you put your locking ring right here. So put this up here, walk it around a little bit so it'll go on.
And you notice they have flats on them, so you can get in there between the bolt and the header, which is very, very tight tolerance.
Oh, perfect. Now you see how this fits on here? All right, once we have that, then you get this little
E-ring.
E-ring. Slide it on like so. And what I like to do is just take a pair of pliers like this, put it on here and clip it in, and there you go. That's locked on. That's not going to come off. It's not going to work loose, and you're in business. And then when you want to take it off, it's real easy to take off. You can just pop it right off and take it out.
You can see the little flat radius for the header. Put that on there. Take your little E-ring, slide that on there. Bingo, you're done. You're not going to back out. That's a great thing about stage 8 fasteners.
It sure is. And if you want to get these, you want to know more information about stage 8, just check out their website. Hey, we got a lot more to do. We're going to take a short break. Stay with us. Let's get the rest of these on there, buddy.
This edition of Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener. And by B&M Racing and Performance, quality performance products that work.
this weapon shield. This is pretty neat stuff.
Try it on some of my semi-autos for sure.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, folks, you've heard a lot about oil additives over the years. They're all over the place. But there's something that we've run across here that you might want to know about. It's called a metal treatment, isn't it, Sam?
That's right. And it's available in a liquid form for engines, for motor oil. You can put it in manual gearboxes, transfer cases, differentials. Also have greases in tubes and tubs. And it really got some pretty neat products.
Yeah, and today's lubricants are really pretty darn good.
Yep.
But you can always make them a little bit better. And we got Mark Pushnick here with Steel Shield, who has this metal treatment. Now, Mark, tell us about metal treatment. What is that all about?
Well, our technology, we treat the metal and not the oil. We attach to the metal surfaces what we call advanced boundary film technology. You use your oil, whatever oil you want to use, and you add our product to it. Oil carries our product to the metal surfaces, which further reduces the heat, friction, wear. It goes to the negative valleys of the metal, and then when the two forces come together, they repel instead of attract.
So, you know, if you could take a microscope and look at a piece of metal, you know, even a bearing surface, polished bearing surface, you really look at it closely, looks like the Grand Canyon in there a lot of times.
Right.
So what you're doing is really filling in all that so you
Right.
make a nice smooth area that reduces
So we
friction.
took this little pin test here. We put the conventional motor oil, high quality synthetic oil.
Right.
We ran it and saw the results. Now you're going to take that oil and enhance it with Steel
That's
Shield.
correct. That's
All right?
correct.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So you add that to the oil. Now, how often do you have to add this to your oil?
Well, you would get protection even if you would add it and not add it again at the next oil change, but we recommend it for the maximum performance of the product.
Mark, tell me about your machine now.
This machine is designed to test lubricants. It's really a standard in the lubrication industry for testing lubricants when they break down under heat and friction. The two metal surfaces you see right here is a Timken race, has a Rockwell hardness of C62, and these are Felix tapered test rolls in the holder here that have the Rockwell hardness of C58. What I'm basically going to do here is apply extreme pressures. Every pound on the scale is equivalent to over 30 pounds of pressure, point to point, with the fulcrum arm here.
Okay.
And basically, I'm going to turn the machine on. I added the product to the base oil.
So basically the same oil we tested before, and it failed at what, 5 or 7 pounds?
Right, right.
Now you've added the Steel Shield to it.
Right, which we treat the metal surface.
Now, how much weight does that put on there?
Right now, we're at 10, and it's still running, no failure.
So 10 pounds equals what?
300?
300 pounds? Yeah.
30 to 1 ratio?
Right.
Okay, how much you got on there now?
Right now, I'm pulling it down 15. You can still see the amp meters around 7 amps.
Which means that the motor's not working real hard.
Right. Right now, we're down to 20.
We know oil breaks down under heat and friction. The Steel Shield actually gets better when it gets hot.
Right. The hotter it gets, the better it works.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
You see right now we're down at the bottom of the scale, getting a little smoke coming off the test machine, but no failure.
Now, that's pretty darn impressive there, Mark. Now, how will it do without the oil?
All right, well, I'll take it away here and show you that we treat the metal surfaces as we planned.
Holy mackerel.
Again, all the way
You do
down
that,
at the
Sam?
bottom.
That shows it left the treatment behind.
That's correct.
That's pretty darn impressive. Well, folks, you know, Steel Shield's got that for a lot of different other products as well. And Mark, I'm glad you brought this along and showed us your demonstration. So thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for
Folks, we got a lot more coming here at Motorhead Garage. Stay tuned. Now, this week's industry update, folks, we're featuring products from AMS Automotive. And you know, Sam, when you're going to do a clutch job on a truck or whatever, you want to make sure you do the job right, and that is using the right parts.
Right. High quality parts and a complete job. You're going to change the pressure plate, your disc, pilot bearing, release bearing, but don't forget the flywheel. AMS has got some great flywheels.
Yeah, don't skimp on the pieces either. I mean, you've got a new pressure plate here, your clutch plate down here. Obviously, got new throwout bearings. Be sure you put all new stuff on. AMS also supplies you with an alignment tool, needle bearing, pilot bearing right here.
Right.
And of course, you got your throwout bearing.
Right. And of course, if you've got one of these transmissions The clutch is operated by a hydraulic slave cylinder with a concentric release bearing right there in the middle of the input shaft sleeve. Don't ever put the old one back. These are a bear to bleed out. You want to make sure they're going to have good, smooth operation. And AMS has all of the hydraulic components you need, whether it's just a master cylinder with a reservoir,
or a system here that's all self-contained. You don't have to bleed it. All you have to do is install it. And once again, don't skimp on this thing. Put all new stuff in. You're going to be a lot happier when you do your clutch job.
It's all high-quality products.
If you want more information, all you have to do is go to their website.
Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage, folks. You know, changing oil is something you should do on a regular basis, and certainly with these transmissions, it's really important because transmission oil that goes bad, it can really create an expensive problem for you. Well, that's what we're doing here with this Volkswagen. We're changing the transmission fluid on this thing, but it's a little bit different, isn't it, Sam?
That's right. Now, these transmissions take a very special oil. It's called the DSG, it's direct gearbox oil. You fill it from the same plug you drain it from, and that may sound crazy, but you're not going to go ahead and just pour fluid up. You got gravity to deal with, so you need a special tool. All right, so we're going to let this drain a little bit, and then we have a standpipe in there we need to remove. Once you take the drain plug out, the next thing is an 8mm Allen, goes up inside here, and then there's another piece inside, which Volkswagen Audi refers to as an overflow tube. It's really a standpipe. When you pull that out, there you go. Now you get the bulk of the oil out of it. This also sets you level. When you fill it, it's going to come up the standpipe, and it's going to fill the pan. There's your level right there. It's all set.
Exactly. What you need are some specialty tools, and that's what we have here from Ossenmacher, their specialty tools. They've got a whole line of tools to work on these and other types of cars that have unique situations about them. In this particular case, what we have here is an oil fill kit. Now we got a container here that Sam's put about 5 quarts of transmission fluid in, and we got a pump. And what this does, you just pump air in here. That'll force the oil out through our hose, and to get it into the transmission here, we have a bunch of adapters for that.
That's right. And if you're going to do this kind of work, you got to have one of these. It's a driveline filler. It fills gearboxes, transfer cases. Now, in this whole kit of adapters, we selected this one to screw right into where the drain plug came out of this Volkswagen. And this slides in here, and it's got a ferrule in it, like a collet. You tighten that up. Now it's nice and tight, and you got a control valve. Now, this is what they call direct shift gearbox oil, or DSG oil. Pretty expensive, but you use the wrong oil, and you destroy your component.
All right, bud. Here. Put in your adapter.
Right. You go ahead and put that on there and pump us up.
Going.
So we put the adapter right up here in the gearbox where the fill plug came out of. Got a little knurl on it, tighten it up, bingo, we're done.
All right, now got our pump onto our container. And it's got a sleeve on it, so you want to push the sleeve all the way down so that it'll make contact with the bottom. That way you can get all of the oil out of there. All right, buddy, you ready?
Make sure the valve is cool. Let me hook up to here.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Ready?
You see I've got the valve closed.
All right, buddy.
You got some pressure there?
Got some pressure.
We open the valve. All right, now what we're doing is the AST driveline filler, Dave's pumping it, okay, and what's happening, pressure's forcing it through the hose. I got the valve open. We're going up inside, and that standpipe is up inside the transmission. Fluid's coming out of the top of it. When we get all 5 quarts of the fluid in there, we should be pretty close to level. We'll take this out. When we take the adapter out, any excess that drips out will be setting the level. So if you do it right and you have the car level, the transmission fluid level is going to be just exactly where it needs to be. The only way you're going to do this job is with the Ossenmacher differential and driveline fill system. They make a whole line of tools. They've got stud extractors, they've got the cooling system pressure testers, they've got Allen wrenches, all the specialized tools for working on these cars. You done good there, buddy?
I got it done here.
Okay, so we'll close the valve, and then we'll loosen our little collet here, slide this off, let the little bit of excess come out. It's a great way to do this. It's the only way to get this job done.
It makes an impossible job a heck of a lot easier, that's for sure. All right, so once you reach that level, put the plug back in.
We're done.
We're in good shape. All right, what you see here is you let the excess oil drain out. Once it drains down like this, you know you're full.
Yep.
And Sam, go ahead and put in the plug.
That's right. When you put in the plug, of course, make sure it's got a little aluminum seal on it. And of course, our St. Marcus Specialty Tools makes the correct socket to put these things in and take them out. Does a great job. And this job is done.
You know, Sam, a lot of people are always saying, you know, you guys have all the right tools to make it look easy. Well, that's the trick. You got to have the right tools to do the right job. That's why we got this Ossenbacher Specialty Tool Kit. Hey, we're going to take a short break. We got a lot more coming here on Motorhead Garage, so stick around.
Nice job, buddy. Done.
This week on the Steel Spotlight, I found a 1968 Chevy Camaro, and it's kind of nuclear.
Having spent 26 years in the nuclear industry, I thought it would be fun to adapt some of the technologies into a streetable car. One example is the fuel system. The fuel system is all made by Swagelok Company, which is a stainless steel high-end fittings, tubing, and hoses. We wanted a big engine car, just to be big and proud and let people know when it's coming down the highway. So we chose a 572 tall deck, big block Chevy from GM Performance Parts. And then to add to that, we fuel injected it using a very unique intake manifold that was originally made by GM and then modified by Wilson Manifolds in Florida. We tried to maintain the stock look, for example, the emblems on the seats, but yet we wanted to incorporate some safety features that the car industry has learned over the decades. The front seats are high back buckets, the rear seats are 2+2 seats with individual seat belts and fixturing.
Well, on the Spotlight, we love to show cars that you're used to seeing, like a 68 Camaro, but usually there's more to the eye. Thank you so much for bringing this car.
You're welcome.
This edition of Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by Greenball Tires. Tires for the road, for work, and play. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. Bruce High Performance Transport, leading the industry since 1981. And by Borla, the world's most winning exhaust.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, I'll tell you what, one of the things you run into, especially with high-performance cars, muscle cars from back in the 60s and the 70s, especially the high compression ones, trying to get gasoline or a fuel that's got some octane to it. Well, one way you can get around that is with an octane booster, and that's what we'd put in here. And of course, this is a supercharged car. It really does need that higher octane fuel. But one thing you want to be careful of when you do use this stuff, be sure you use a rag with it, because if it drips on your paint, it could cause a little bit of a problem. But let me tell you, it's one way to boost that octane, and Sam's got a whole bunch of it right over here.
You know, Dave's right. Particularly if you're racing, you got an offshore boat, even some high-performance snowmobiles, you got to have the octane to prevent engine-damaging detonation. We got Ian Lane here. He's with Boostane. Tell us about this product. How much is it better than racing fuel?
Well, Sam, basically what our engineers have developed here is an affordable, convenient way to have race fuel anywhere you want, anywhere you can get pump fuel. You go to the gas station, you pour in 93 high grade, you can pour in a little bit of Boostane and effectively transform the fuel inside your tank into a race fuel equivalent from anywhere from 93 to 110, all depending on our proprietary ratio. You can get any number in between that range right there.
Have you tested this stuff?
Absolutely. At Boostane, we're all engineers, so we're only interested in results. And we do all of our testing third party on knock engines, and we run it in all of our race boats and our race cars as well. So we're not interested in selling somebody something that doesn't work. We're only interested in results.
Letting this stuff sit for a while, you know, if you pour it in your tank, any problem with that?
Absolutely not. Actually, that's kind of the gold star of Boostane, and that's something that's taken our engineers a long time to do, is developing a proprietary carrier that keeps the active ingredients suspended indefinitely in the solution that is Boostane. And that's something we worked a long time on, so people don't have to worry about it being on their shelves, or if they have a late model car and they live up north and they're worried about letting it sit over the winter and everything settling to the bottom and clogging injectors, filters. You don't have to worry about that with Boostane.
The neat thing about Boostane is you can take premium pump gas, turn it into race fuel. That saves you from having to drag your race fuel around, which is a pain in the butt.
Oh, yeah.
It's expensive, and it's hard to do. And you know, you used to be able to get race fuel anywhere. The government regulations have tightened up. You really can't find the race fuel easily anymore.
Absolutely.
No, not at all.
Absolutely.
So you've done a lot of dyno testing with this too, right?
Absolutely. A few of our distributors and a lot of our customers, we always tell them, make sure to dyno your car and really see the results for yourself. And that's what we've done a lot at. We have a certified dyno down in Southwest Florida where our headquarters is, and you know, we do all the dyno testing down there.
You got a chart right on here that tells you the ratios and stuff. Now you got 55-gallon drums, 5-gallon pails.
That's right.
I guess it's probably the most common in buying a
It's the most convenient. You throw it in your trunk, don't have to worry about anything else. You have the chart on the back that's going to give you a few different mixing ratios, and we actually have our own iPhone app that'll do all the calculations right there for you, so you can get exactly what you need. If you go to Boostane.com, you'll find all this stuff, all the videos of our dyno testing, all that stuff right there for everybody.
Where can you get it?
You can get it any of our distributors. We have a really good distributor up in Atlanta at Z1 Motorsports, Nerd Performance down in Southwest Florida, and the easiest is our website as well at Boostane.com.
I have a question. You know, Dave, when we deal with cars with camshafts and stuff, they're always bigger is better.
Oh, yeah.
More is better. Can you put too much in?
No, you don't have to worry about that. That's something else that that scares a lot of people is, you know, if I pour too much, do I have to worry about pumping it back out? It's not going to change the richness or anything else like that. If you pour too much in, the only problem that you're really going to have is there's going to be a few bucks going out of the exhaust.
You're wasting. Actually,
you're wasting it. You're wasting it.
That's why you want to.
Which I guess is good for us with sales, but you know, that's what the calculator's there for and everything else.
You're running high performance. You're running high compression, snowmobiles, whatever, offshore boats. You need to get some of this. And buddy, we're out of time. You know that.
We are?
Yeah. We'll see you next time here at Motorhead Garage.
Take care.
Hey, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Dave.